Hi, my name is Tina and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about 10 things that I will not miss about being morbidly obese. And the reason I've decided to make this video, I was thinking about this morning about just different things that I have experienced or that I've done to kind of preserve my feelings or my pride when I was just extremely obese. And the first one that I was thinking about, and the reason for this video is because I was thinking about this specific issue. So I don't know if anybody else has done this, but it just kind of made me giggle, and it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it's kind of funny now. But I used to go through the drive-through, like on my lunch break at work, and I would go through whatever drive-through, wherever I was, and I would order enough food for 2 people. And then when I would go, so I would say 2 whatever meals, and they would say, okay, well, what do you want for the drinks? And I would say Diet Coke for myself, and then I think he wanted regular Coke. I'd just say some stupid thing to make me feel good about what I was doing. And then of course you drive up to the window and there is 340 pounds of you sitting there in your car. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I remember one time I did that and the person at the window just kind of gave me this knowing smile, and it just made me panic. I was trying to figure out how to make it even more believable, but that was just me and deep in my food addiction and just very, very deep in denial. And I won't miss that. I won't miss, and then you eat all that food and you just feel so sick and greasy, and yeah, I'm not at that place anymore, but I feel like people could relate to that, so I thought I would share. So that's the first thing about it that I won't miss. Another thing I won't miss is just being anxious around people. And I've mentioned before, but my weight is not evenly distributed. So my upper body it doesn't look skinny, but it looks fairly normal. But below my waist, my hips and my thighs are my problem areas. So I've always been able to, I've always had a desk job or an office job, and somebody would come in and see me, and I would just stay seated. If there was ever any reason that I had to get up and, do something, stand up, I would try, of course, to avoid getting up. But sometimes you just have to. So I would get up and walk around, and the person would inadvertently, their eyes would drop and they would look straight at my problem areas. And this still happens. I mean, and I know it's because I'm so misproportioned, and I don't know. But even friends, like people that you love, that love you, people you can't help it. Your eyes just go where they go, right? Even if you try not. I mean, sometimes it's malicious and just rude, but anyway, just trying not to watch people's eyes when you meet them, or when you're talking to them, or when you just trying really, really hard to get eye contact, just craving for them to look in your eyes while you're talking to them, instead of like glancing down at your thighs or your whatever it is. So I won't miss that, and I won't miss the anxiety around new situations. So when you start a new job, or when you just any type of new situation where you're around people that don't know you, and it's just always kind of been an awkward thing with me. And I don't know if that's true for people that have weight more evenly distributed. I'm sure there's the same type of issues, but just for my specific situation, when my weight is it's just carried so weird, and my thighs are so big compared to my arms and my shoulders and my upper body. So that won't miss that. The other thing is that in my mind, I feel like people think that people that are morbidly obese are smelly. I don't think that they are. I'm not. But just because of my personal feeling that people think those things, I've just been very hyper vigilant about my personal hygiene. And I've always carried deodorant in my purse. I've always carried, perfumed body lotion or perfumed hand lotion, so that I could kind of mask whatever smell might be happening. Even if there wasn't a smell, just very insecure about things like that. And I just never ever wanted anybody to think that I wasn't clean, even though I was 340 pounds and it was a struggle. I just prioritized hygiene over everything else. And I don't think that that's really a bad thing. It's just there's stress around it. So there was stress around it for me, just being around people. Like if you had to go, we would have, I worked in social services for about 15 years. There's always these retreat type things that you go on, or conferences or whatever. So you're in close quarters with people, with your coworkers, or with people that you know from other things, and just constantly worrying about how you smell or how you look or just whatever it is. I always thought, well, at least at 340 pounds, at least my hair looks okay, or my I don't smell, or I smell good, or whatever. So it's just a hypervigilance that I will not miss. Another thing I will not miss, I think I'm on number 4. I lost count. But I will not remiss, along those same lines, when you're going to in a new situation, or say you're all going to go out to a restaurant, or you're going to go to somebody's house or whatever, there was always a fear of chairs not supporting me. And I've never broken a chair when I sat on it. But that's because I've just been very worried about it and very conscious of it. So I would be really careful of where I would sit. I always had to scan the room for what chair would, or where I could sit, that I wouldn't be in everybody's way, or just being hyper sensitive and just overly concerned about destroying a chair. Which, if you destroy a chair, something's wrong with the chair. But if you're going to destroy a chair, chances are pretty likely that if you're 340 pounds, the chair is going to give way. I will not miss that. Another thing I will not miss is my clothes. Just like I said, my body is not evenly distributed, so I wear my jeans, my pants, everything wears out really, really fast between my, on my thigh area where they rub together. So I could have a pair of jeans that was in great shape that I spent way too much money on probably, and the only place that it would show wear and tear is on my thighs where they rub together. And so that would be okay for a while, like I could conceal that. But after a while, you can see, people can see that your pants are worn in the on your inner thighs, and they wear faster than they need to. They wear faster than they should have, and I'm definitely not going to miss that. Another thing that's really not going to miss is I'm not going to miss walking upstairs and being completely out of breath, just one flight of stairs. I would try really hard to conceal that I was out of breath. You try not to talk, and you try to conceal your breath or whatever. But just the whole process of hiding, being out of breath, it's really difficult, and it's really easy to see that I was tired. I would walk up the stairs with my thin coworker, and she'd be like bouncing up and down or whatever, and I'd be like holding on to things, trying to grasp my breath. I will not miss that. I will not miss the lack of choice for clothes. And I did a lot of, when I was working professionally outside the home, I did a lot of shopping at Lane Bryant, only when they had sales, because I just think it's very expensive there. And there was a store called Catherine's. I don't even know if that place is still in business, but that was a little bit more affordable, and I would shop there a lot for clothes, but there's just not very many choices. And at least the type of things that I wanted to wear, I just didn't have really any choices. And so it was just hard to find clothes that I needed and that I liked to wear. And I needed to have something to wear, of course, but it was just hard for me to find things that I liked and was proud to wear. Number 8. I think I'm at 8. Ordering food. So shopping for groceries. One time I remember I went shopping at the grocery store, and I was on a really, really big sugar kick, and they had candy bars for sale, and so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stock up on candy bars, which in reality, I probably got 12 candy bars, and it probably didn't last me the week. Just being real about it. But I had a bunch of candy bars in my cart, and the girl in front of me looked at the candy bars and looked at me and said, whoo, that's a lot of candy bars. And I said, yeah, you know, my kids, I put them in my kids' lunch. And she looked at me like, sure. And she paused and looked at me, and it was painful. It hurt me to my core that she looked at me, she looked at my candy bars, and she immediately knew that I was lying. And it's such a vivid memory to me, just remembering that I really thought that I could say that, and she'd be like, oh yeah, of course kids, you know, eat a lot of candy bars. Like, come on. I don't know where my head was or what was going on, but it really hurt my feelings that she saw through that lie. So I'm not gonna miss that. And I think the last one, I think I'm on 10, is worrying about aging. I'm 51 years old, and I know that I've been really lucky because diabetes and hypertension, heart issues, those things do run in my family, and I've been really, really lucky so far that I don't have diabetes, and I don't have any heart issues or high blood pressure or anything like that. But I'm still aging, and these things do creep up on everybody. And I've just really been lucky for some reason. I think it's because I don't carry my weight around my heart area, but it's just a matter of time, right? And so it's something that I've worried about, something that I just really dread going to the doctors, because they'll talk about your weight and the consequences to being obese and whatever. So I definitely will not miss worrying about my age and health related issues that come with being morbidly obese. So I believe that's 10. Another one that I had noted is I just weighing myself and being so scared to see what the number is, and there were points in my life where it was just climbing so fast, and sometimes I would weigh myself and be like, no, that scale is broken. I just could not accept whatever number was on there. And then there was a point where I outweighed my scale, so that helped me a lot, because that was at my top weight. I weighed myself, and the scale said 340. Well, I knew I was gaining weight, but my scale didn't go any higher than that. So, oh my gosh, all the really just destructive things that I've put myself through. So it's just sobering to think about, really. If you go there, it's just really amazing that I'm overcoming those things. So I'm not scared to weigh myself now, even though sometimes, like, for example, last month and a little bit this month, the scale wasn't moving, and so I just stopped weighing myself because of that fear of what it says. So things I'm working on. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I really appreciate you clicking on my video and watching, and I hope you subscribe if you like what you see. I upload a lot now, about 3 times a week right now. I just have a lot to talk about. So anyway, thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.